The Amityville Horror, released in 1979, sees a couple, played by James Brolin and Margot Kidder, move into a house where previously there had been a bizarre, unexplained murder. Kidder's character, Kathleen, is established as a woman of faith, a Catholic, while Brolin's character, George, is seemingly an atheist. This spiritual divide between husband and wife is really the core theme of the movie. As the film begins to unfold, we quickly learn that there is a dark spiritual force inside the house that wants them out. The first person to truly confront this force is a priest called Father Delaney, played by Rod Steiger, who comes to bless the house at Kathleen's request, even before Kathleen is aware of the demonic presence. As it turns out, Kathleen is unable to be at the house when Father Delaney arrives, leaving him to go it alone. After this, the only contact that Father Delaney has with Kathleen is via the telephone, and even then, their calls are disrupted by the evil presence. Delaney never comes face to face with either George or Kathleen, which is actually quite significant. In another film, The Exorcist for example, a character like Father Delaney might be the heroic man of faith who saves the day in the final act. But not here. Instead, when Delaney takes the news of his encounter to his superiors, he is all but dismissed as a crackpot. That same division we see between husband and wife is present within the very institution that claims to deal with the spiritual. And when the church becomes skeptical of spiritual forces, they become impotent in their ability to fight them, which is when evil can take a foothold. This division within the church affects the family, because it means they are on their own. The problem there, as already stated, is that husband and wife are also divided on matters of faith. George seems to scoff at religion, or at the very least has no reverence towards God. We see this in the way he treats certain iconography. This division of church and family ultimately allows for the evil within the house to claim victory. The family is pushed out, forced to flee from their home into the darkness of the night. The lesson we are to learn here is quite clear. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself will not stand. Now, these words were spoken by Jesus in response to accusations from some religious leaders that he had cast out demons through the power of Satan. Jesus is basically saying that if Satan casts out Satan, then his house is divided and therefore cannot stand. But Jesus says quite clearly, every kingdom, every city and house. George and Kathleen are not united on a spiritual front. Neither do they have support from people united on a spiritual front. For this reason, they are overcome by evil forces. This is why it is better to be alone in singleness than to feel alone in a marriage. When faced with the prospect of a lifelong relationship with another person, it is important to ask yourself the question, will this person cause division in matters of faith, or can we stand united?